People are starving, and they don't care. They don't care. That pisses me off to the highest fullest, knowing that these people do not care about the common man and woman in this country.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Welcome to the Heineken Hour. Politics. Heineken. Good conversation. I don't think you really get that whole concept. Politics. Heineken. Good conversation. I don't think you really get that whole concept.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Welcome to the Heineken Hour.
Yeah.
King Live.
Yeah. Yeah.
King Live.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
share, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
share, and subscribe.
Yeah. Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Welcome to the Heineken Hour. Let's get drunk. Salute, salute. Let's get drunk. Salute, salute. Let's get drunk. Salute, salute. Let's get drunk. Salute, salute.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Welcome to the Heineken Hour. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Like,
Yeah.
share, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
share, and
Yeah.
subscribe.
Yeah.
Aye,
Go calm. Yeah. Go calm.
aye,
Yeah. Go calm. Yeah. Go calm.
aye,
Yeah. Go calm.
aye,
Yeah. Go calm.
aye,
Yeah.
aye,
Go calm.
aye,
Yeah.
aye,
Go calm. Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
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 Welcome to the Heineken Hour with King Live.
What's up, everybody? I'm back once again for another show. You know, I was sitting here about an hour ago and I was flipping through YouTube, and I came across a couple of clips with Vlad TV talking about why he wouldn't interview Fleece Johnson, aka the Booty Warrior. Now, for y'all who knows Fleece Johnson, the Booty Warrior, y'all knows that he did a lot of time. He did like 40 years in prison in Kentucky. He was a person who fell in love with booty while doing them 40 years in prison. From my understanding, actually, he was a virgin when he went to prison, and he lost his virginity with another man. Now, I have seen a lot of his clips on YouTube, on this channel called Hustle. I think it's Hustle Spirit, I believe. He's doing a lot of storytelling about his prison years. But I guess him and Vlad had set up an interview from what Vlad is saying. And Vlad, we all know Vlad. We all know the type of people that Vlad interviews on his channel. We know he interviews murderers, drug kingpins, gangbangers, psychopaths. You know, you name it, he interviewed them. You know, that's what his channel is known for, interviewing the worst of the worst, in a sense. But when it came to Fleece Johnson, the Booty Warrior, he drew the line. And I'm saying to myself, hold on. You're drawing the line. Your red line is Fleece Johnson. Your red line is this guy called the Booty Warrior. And the reason why he gave for not wanting to do the interview in the long run, because he felt like Fleece Johnson had ruined young men's lives in prison by raping them, which is disgusting, and which I can't agree with what Vlad is saying by ruining young men's lives by doing that in prison. I can agree with that, but Vlad is the wrong person to get on that moral high horse at this time, knowing that he has interviewed killers, He has interviewed drug dealers, drug kingpins who destroyed plenty of people's lives. Plenty of lives. I'm talking about drug kingpins who went out and destroyed communities, who indirectly was involved with kids being killed over drug deals. But Vlad had the audacity to say that he's not going to interview this man because of what he might have done in prison, in which, from my understanding, a couple of more clips from Fleece Johnson, he claimed that Vlad is lying on him. He claimed that he never did the thing that Vlad is saying he did. Which if that's true, that Vlad is lying, which is terrible. And I really believe Vlad is lying, because there's no way in the world you're gonna sit and tell me all of a sudden you get morals, you have standards of who you're gonna put on your platform after you have put murderers, psychopaths on your platform. That's crazy. This is the man who don't have any standards. This is a man who will do any interview for money. Because we all know what the goal is. The goal is to make money, to get subs, and to get views. That's the goal of YouTube. And that's what Vlad does when he does his interviews. And to let you see that I'm right about what he's doing, because he's still using Fleece Johnson's name. He's still using the Booty Warriors name in his titles. He interviewed two separate people, Bootsy and Aaron Spears, and he brought it up twice for the reason why he didn't want to interview the Booty Warrior. In two of his clips. So he don't want to interview the man, but he's still talking about the man, making money off the man. If you're going to talk about him, you might as well go and interview him. It doesn't make sense. But my thing is, why are you sitting here telling people all of a sudden that you have morals? You have moral standards that you will not allow this man on your platform after you allow killers on your platform, gangbangers, people who have destroyed lives, people who have destroyed young people's lives, cartel members. But you have moral standards now? See, this is why people should not be doing Vlad TV interviews, because he's a hypocrite and he really doesn't care. He really doesn't. And this shows you that he doesn't care. Because if he really cared about young people being affected, about certain things that goes on in this country, like crime, drugs, murderers, he wouldn't do none of those interviews. He would never have a drug kingpin on his platform. He would never have a murderer on his platform. He would never have a gangbanger on his platform. Those people have done things to destroy a lot of people, a lot of innocent people's lives. It's crazy. But we sit back and they still go to his platform and get these interviews. I understand he might be paying you a little bit of money, but all money is not good money. And Vlad right now is showing you that he don't care about you. Because he didn't care about those kids who got killed in the streets when them gangbangers was out there gangbanging over drugs. He didn't care about all those innocent people who got killed by the mafia. All those innocent families who lost someone, a loved one, from some psychopath. He didn't care about none of those people. None of them. But all of a sudden now he cares. He cares about the youth being destroyed in prison. He cares about that. That's funny to me. You could have came up with any other reason not to get this guy an interview, but that reason. What's up, Griffin? What's up, Tanya? That's the wrong reason to come up with, knowing the people you have had on your platform. That's crazy. What's up, me mug? That is crazy. And then he had the nerve to say, see, if I was a culture vulture, I would have did that interview. That's what he said. If he was a culture vulture, he would have did that interview with the booty warrior. What? That don't prove that you're not a culture vulture. Just because you do that one interview. How about the tens of thousands of interviews you did already on the culture? This guy is playing the black community. He really is. He's playing the black community. And it's crazy. It's really crazy. But we still go to his platform. We still want to be interviewed by him. For what? For what? Because if you really cared about the black community, if you really cared about kids being harmed, youth being harmed, like I said before, he wouldn't do none of these interviews. He wouldn't have none of these people on his platform. You know what? I don't honestly mean, Mug. I'm gonna disagree with that, and the reason why I'm gonna disagree with it, because I think that it's even. It is no worse than a killer, and a killer is no worse than that. To me, it's all on the same plant level. It's on the same level. It's all on the same level. When you talk about raping someone and you talk about taking somebody's life, it's all the same. To me, you can't pick and choose which is worse between the two. You can't. Think about this right here, Mug. Someone goes out and harms a baby in the streets. You just lost an innocent baby to the streets. So how can that be worse than someone losing their manhood? It ain't. It's even. And that's why I'm saying, if you gonna put a murderer on your platform, ain't no way in the world you can tell me that's not worse as a man who's in prison, maybe taking another man's manhood. I just find it all on the same level. I really do. I just feel like, to me, when it comes to stuff like that, there's no difference. There's no difference. You know, when I hear about these babies being killed in the street due to gun violence or due to gang banging and these drugs that's on the streets, to me, that's sad. You're losing innocent people to nonsense. Those are young babies. Those are kids who will never grow up to be adults. So, I know everybody gonna have their own different take on this, but I just feel like, you know, not only that, not only that, my thing is Vlad knew who this guy was. Vlad knew exactly who this guy was. He knew this guy was called the Booty Warrior. You know, and honestly, what I think what happened, I think Vlad had pressure because a lot of people don't like this guy getting the attention that he's getting for the reason he's getting the attention. So I think a lot of people put pressure on Vlad, and he had to find a way. He had to find a way to get out of the interview, and that was his out. If I had a choice, it would be taking someone's manhood. That's disgusting and low down. I honestly mean, Mug, I don't even see myself doing none of it. I can't imagine myself taking nobody's manhood. I can't see myself killing any innocent babies or any none of that nonsense. To me, it takes a real psychopath to do things like that. And I just don't see myself participating in none of that crap. None of it. You know. But like I said, I think Vlad really wanted a way out. And that's the excuse he used. Because matter of fact, I think I was listening to Fleece Johnson. He was saying that Vlad lied on him by saying that he had did those things in prison by raping someone. He said he never got charged with raping anybody in prison. So Vlad is totally making that up, totally lying on him. And it makes sense. It makes sense. You really think so? Uh, we're gonna disagree. We're just gonna disagree on that. I just I you know I rather if I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to get into it. Like, that's too deep for me, Mean Mug. I don't even want to think about that. That's too deep. That's too deep. To me personally, I just feel like all crime like that and murder is on the same level to me because someone innocent could have lost their lives. As a matter of fact, Vlad tried to justify. Matter of fact, he tried to justify why he platformed murderers on his platform because he's saying like Sammy the Bull killed other mobsters. And that was his justification for putting Sammy the Bull on his platform. Now, that could have been true with Sammy the Bull, but everybody who came on his platform wasn't killing criminals, other criminals. Some of those people got caught up in killing innocent people. So that was another stupid way of putting things from Vlad's point of view, in a sense. But that's very interesting. That's very interesting, me, Mug, though, that you actually think that's worse. That, that's very interesting. I never, nah. But like I said, I ain't got too much to say. I just came on just to say this right here, do a little video, try to get back into the things slowly, try to do more videos, do more lives over here. So when I come up with something, I come on for like 15, 20 minutes just to get it out, just to get my name, my channel back into the algorithm. Because I actually did a poll today. And my poll, I got 0 votes on my poll. So it let me know that I'm nowhere near in the algorithm anymore. So I got to start doing more lives over here in order to get myself back in the algorithm. But that's all I have to say on that. I just feel like Vlad is wrong. Murder is just that. Nah. Well, if you gonna say that, Mean Mug, that means graping is just graping. It's just that. Cause you gotta understand, if you take a life, if you take a life, you took someone loved one away from them, and that person gonna hurt the rest of their lives also. You know, same thing as taking somebody manhood. That person's probably gonna suffer for a long time. But when you murder someone, that person, family member, is gonna suffer the rest of their lives because of that murder. And that's why I say both of those in my book is on even grounds. It just, it is what it is. But let me get out of here. Get me some sleep. I just came on for a second. I appreciate you stopping by me, Mug. Thank you, Griffin, for stopping by. Thank you, Tanya, for stopping by. Like I said, the more I do, it's cut and dry. So so let me ask you this right quick, Mean Mug. So if murder is cut and dry, why isn't taking a person manhood cut and dry? Make me understand that one then before I leave. I really want to understand why is that not cut and dry if you took a person manhood? Is it more of a psych thing, a psychological thing? Because you because you what? What does that mean, Mug? Hell is that? because you're forcing. So so basically what you're saying is just because you're forcing yourself on this person is what make it worse. Yeah, I don't know. I guess you can say it like that, but I don't know, me, Muck. I don't know about that. You kind of got me a little bit on that when you said forcing, but at the same time, it's to the point where, to me personally, it's still it's still on the same level, man. Matter of fact, honestly, even if a person is being forced to do something, they're still living though. They're still living. They still on this earth. If you murder someone, they gone. Especially a baby. Just say you had a 5-year-old baby. What's up, T? Just say you had a 5-year-old baby who was killed in the street. That baby is gone. That baby have no chance of growing up whatsoever. But if what you're saying is forcing, that person still have a way of overcoming that though. That person can overcome that. So if you really think about it, someone being killed is worse than someone taking somebody's manhood. And I think I get it from your point of view because we're sitting here talking about that and we are men. So I can understand where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? Because no man want his manhood taken. So I get that part. But but you still have the opportunity to get over that. And don't get me wrong, I know it could be difficult to get past it, but you still have the opportunity to try to get past it still. I think you walked in on the middle of a conversation. You might not want to get involved. uh, well, let me tell you what we're talking about here. So what we're talking about, T, is we're talking about what is worse: a man losing his manhood to another man, or someone basically being murdered. That's pretty much what we're discussing right now. Cause we're going off the title of the live. But me and Mug got a disagreement on me and Mug is saying that taking a man's manhood is worse than a murderer, murdering someone. So that's pretty much the topic right now. I'm gonna see what T got to say before I go on. Yeah, see that's somewhat what I'm saying. Also, taking a life is a little bit worse than taking somebody manhood. But I can understand what me Mug is coming from because, like I said, no man, and I've heard this before also, where a man say, "I'd rather die before I let a man take my manhood." So I get it. I get where you're coming from, me Mug. Because, like I said, no man want to be violated like that, and that's understandable. What's up, Lurker? So, so, let me ask you a question, Meme Up. So, do you think Fleece Johnson, aka the Booty Warrior, do you think that he deserved to have a platform on YouTube telling those stories about what he did in prison? He rather die. Yeah, like I said, I kind of figured that because I've heard that several. I have heard that several times before from different guys. They rather die before let a man take his manhood. But do you think that Fleece Johnson deserved a platform on YouTube telling those stories though? So you think he deserves it? Okay, yeah. Like I said, I listen to some of the stories, and like I say, some of the things he said is a little cringy. Is a little cringy. But like you say, that's his story. That's his life. You know, if he want to tell his life story, being locked up 40 years in prison, hey, he making money. He deserves to make money the way he knows how to make it. I hear some people saying that he don't deserve a platform because some of the things he say he have done, and some people say he deserves it. Actually, I went back to look at the one of the original episodes of Locked Up, and the episode that he was in, and when he was explaining everything about his life in prison. If NBC can make money off of him, why can't he make money off himself? That's the way I look at it. But I just hate that Vlad is taking the stand that he's taking, knowing the people that he have actually put on his platform. What's up, King Curl? That's the part where I just, I just, I just think Vlad is totally wrong there. It's like, dude, you have put murderers on your platform. You talking about you won't platform this man because of what you think he did. Yeah. Yeah, that's a claim to fame, being the booty warrior. Hey, any way to make money these days, make that money any kind of way. And he making a lot of money right now. His stories are selling on YouTube. He's actually talking about suing Vlad right now because Vlad keep using his name in the title of a couple of his clips. And he's actually making money off the guy, even though he don't want to put the guy on his platform, which is kind of silly also. If you're not gonna interview the guy, stop using the guy's name. If you don't want to use his name, if you don't want to interview him, you have no right to keep using his name. So I feel him on that because they talking about suing him because it's like Vlad is making money off this dude. It might be yeah, that might be a little difficult, T. Just a little bit. Just a little difficult to put that on your job application. Oh man. But like I said, after 40 years of doing that, what other choice do you have? You're an old guy now. He got to be listening in his mid 50s, 60s. I mean, he looked very old, so he ain't got too many options anyway. He ain't got no Social Security, being locked up 40 years. So he really ain't got no pension. So what can he do? Well, a lot of people, honestly, a lot of people love to hear those stories. If you really look at that sector, when you talk about prison stories, if you look at that sector, that genre, there's a lot of money being made over there from guys telling their story, but when they was locked up in prison, there's a lot of money over there. There's a lot of views, a lot of views. Some people just fascinated by prison stories. You know, hearing about the game banging and the graping and all the ins and out of how you survive. So a lot of people are very interested. And I'm pretty sure he's gonna write a book too. There's gonna be a book coming also. Cause myself personally, I would have wrote a book first. Before I even put the information out there, I would have wrote a book. And then I would have told the stories to sell the book. But it's very interesting though. Very interesting. So I'm gonna switch gears right quick since I got Mean Mug in here. So Mean Mug, what did you think about Larry Elder in the Breakfast Club interview? Because I know you're a fan of Larry Elder, so let me get your point on that. Bill Freezy. Oh, you watch him? You know, I be flipping through there and I'll catch a story here, I'll catch a story there, but I'm not really big on any one person other than the Booty Warrior. I listen to his stories because he's the newest one out. And the Hustle and Spirit channel is like flooding it right now with his content. So that's why I watched that one. But let me get your take on Larry Elder's. Y'all think he got school? I don't think he got school. You know what? You know what? You're right. He got school. But he got school because he didn't have the knowledge to push back on Larry Elders. That's how he got school. See, sometimes you gotta understand, you really have to be a politics head in order to push back on people like Larry Elders. Like Larry Elders would not take on someone like Roland Martin. Because Roland Martin have the knowledge of politics to push back. Charlemagne is out of his element. He's good with rappers and singers and entertainers. He's not good with politicians. So I agree. Yeah, he did get schooled because he don't have the knowledge in order to keep up with a Larry Elder. You know what? Larry Elder is like any other black Republican. They have good points, but the problem is they get overboard with the crap. They take it to a different level, you know, and that's the problem. They get too extreme with it. I keep telling y'all, every time they bring up that 70% single mother household, that right there is distorted. That is a distorted truth because what it is, if you're not married but you got a boyfriend, they count you as being single. So that 70% is too high. All those females having babies are not single mothers. They're just not married. You know, and then the part that if I was talking to Larry Elders and he brought up what Joe Biden said about if you don't vote for him, you're not black. See, I would have pushed back and said, well, that is a horrible statement for Joe Biden to make. But what do you think about what Trump said when Trump said, look at my African American over there? Or you could have pushed back and said, how about Trump in the 70s when Trump was putting the letter C on applications in order to keep black people from living in his apartment buildings? See, Charlemagne the God is not into politics. And he don't know how to push back on stuff like that. Right, right. Stacks can be altered. Most definitely. Yeah, it's like matter of fact, if you listen to every black Republican, almost every black Republican, they always shouting out that same stat about single mothers. And that stat is distorted. It's not a true factual stat. Oh, you haven't seen the meme, Mug? Oh shit! I thought you of all people would have seen that. because everybody talking about that interview. Well, in the political world, there is. You look at the ABLs and the all those black so-called Republicans. They're all talking about Larry Elder destroying Charlemagne the God. But like I said, Larry Elders do not take on the heavyweights. They don't take on people like Roland Martin. They don't go into those shows. It's like Candace Owens, T Girl. T Girl do not go on shows with people like Roland Martin on it because she'll get destroyed. Those people do not go on on TV shows with real politician analysts. They don't do it. They'll pick a Charlemagne the God to go on because they can destroy him. He's not versed in politics. He tinker around with politics. Yeah. So Roland's a Texan also, mean bug. So he's from Texas. So, you know, well, like I say, when you actually he's a victimhood preacher. I I I don't think he a victimhood preacher. I think he put out stats that a lot of people don't want to really look at, but they are true stats though. I have my issues with Roland Martin too sometimes because I think Roland Martin is more or less a type of person who's into that bougie type blackness. Now I do that's something I don't like about Roland Martin, that he's into that bourgeoisie type club. He liked the CAFAs. He got to be part of a sorority or a fraternity and all that crap. But when it comes to him spitting facts, I think he do a better job of spitting facts from his point of view than most black Republicans do. And that's why you don't see those people like your girl T going on shows with Roland Martin because they're afraid of Roland Martin. Larry Elder would never ever do a show with Roland Martin. Never. So y'all got me talking politics now. I was supposed to be gone a long time ago. Then y'all got me talking politics. Larry, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say it the way it is. I can care less about Larry. I can care less about Larry Elders. I can care less about Tim Scott. I can care less about any of these new Trump Republicans. I can care less about them because I think they all are phony. Oh, you don't mess with Candace no more, man. You dropped your girl. But when you said plays the victim card, give me an example of him playing the victim card, so I can know exactly what you're talking about. Because I ain't gonna lie, I have gotten away from that victimhood thing. The way I think now is there are some issues that we do bring upon ourselves, and that we need to stop blaming other people for. You know, so I can understand certain things, but when it comes to other things, I don't think it's really a victimhood thing. I think it's just a miscommunication in a sense. You know what really opened my eyes though? Living the way I'm living at now. That's what opened my eyes. And that showed me exactly how we destroy neighborhoods. by living where I live at now. And that's why I said some things we are to blame for. Damn, me mug, you start watching me. You start watching Candace too. Me mug, are you an undercover? Are you an undercover Democrat, me mug? I think me mug becoming an undercover Democrat. I said he's constantly talking about racism. Racism exists, but what it do about is what counts. We don't focus on the obstacles. We focus on getting around it. Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah, I think you know what? Actually, since you brought that up, I was talking to a guy today at work, and it's kind of ironic that you brought that up. Me, T. We was talking about his job, and he thought it was racism that they wouldn't allow him to do something that other people was doing. And me have a long talk about that. And I broke it down to I said, look, it's not about racism. It's about opportunity and what you're working with. Basically, you're not being able to do that. It's not because you're black. It's because they need you somewhere else, and the other people are weaker than you. So that's a great point. Yeah, I agree with you on that. We do tend to focus on racism too much instead of trying to look at the bigger picture of what's going on around you. Yeah, like I said, I'm a registered independent, me mug. I'm an independent man. I do lean Democratic, but I'm independent. That's the way I register as an independent. And both parties are trash. Actually, both parties try to keep you enraged. What it is, both parties want you enraged. Both parties want you to feel like the opposite party is doing more harm to you to get you excited, to get you more enraged at that party. It's all about keeping you enraged. That's what it's all about. I feel you, me mug. I feel you. You have changed, man. When I first started talking politics with you, you had a whole different way of thinking. Yeah, I see. You really have come around a little bit. Well, we all, you know what? I think we all have evolved a little bit. I know I have evolved a lot since I started talking about politics a lot. I started evolving a whole lot because I used to be solid in that corner of everything being racist. Everything had to do with race. But now I tend to see that everything is not about racism. Everything is not about race. It's about finding solutions to solve your own problems. That's what it's about to me now. Right, the blame game, the victim game. Yeah, both parties. And that's what we all need to do. I think the last live I did over here a couple of days ago, I was talking about how we need to educate ourselves. Educate ourselves. Don't go and listen to someone else. Listen to yourself. Educate yourself. And if everybody educated themselves, we all be better off. Every last one will be better off. And actually, it'll make these politicians better if you stop listening to these politicians and do your own research. If you really think about it. Because right now it seems like everybody is picking a team. Either you team red or you team blue. If you team blue, there's nothing you can see that team red is doing right. And if you team red, there's nothing you can see that team blue is doing right. And you have to understand that there is something good in each party. No matter what, there is something good in each party. But we're so fixated now on our own parties that we don't want to see any good in the parties anymore. We just we just want to blame, 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 blame. You know, like I said, Joe Biden, I hate because he's running again. I think he need to retire. I think he need to ride off into the sunset and move on by his business. Donald Trump, I think Donald Trump need to ride on by his business. So I can sit here and say in each party where the blame should be. Right. Do something about it. That's right. And that's what it's all about, and that's why, I stopped that victimhood. I ain't gonna lie, I had that victimhood mentality. And I said, no, I need to stop that because it's not about that. It's not about that. It's not about you being the victim, someone doing something to you. It's about look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what are you doing wrong to keep yourself down? That's what you have to do. Look in the mirror at yourself and ask yourself, what are you doing to keep yourself down? What are you doing to have yourself getting up every day having to struggle? And then if you talk to yourself and answer that question, then you can fix it. You can fix it. Right. We all went to that phase. We all went to that phase. But like I said, we all evolve. And that's the most important part of all, evolving, getting out of that mentality, changing the way you think, changing the way you see the world. And then that way you can change yourself. You ain't got to worry about no one else. Just worry about yourself. And that's one of the main reasons why I stepped away from YouTube, because I needed to change myself. I need to find something different to do with myself. When you see yourself going down that dark path, it is like, whoa, 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 stop that. You get too old for this. And I ain't gonna lie. I sit back and I watch people my age on YouTube still doing the same crap they was doing 5 years ago. It's like, when are you gonna grow up? You're my age. We're in our 50s, pushing 60, and we still getting on YouTube doing the same BS day in and day out. Then the sad thing about it is, then we wonder why these kids are doing what they're doing. Because look at the grandparents. The grandparents are behaving worse than the kids. That's where it's coming from. But we don't want to see that. We just want to blame the kids. We're not looking at the grandparents, even the great grandparents. It's crazy. Yeah, I've been listening. What? Who was that? Prime? Was it Prime? I think Prime is taking off. It's taking like 400 truckers off the road. Trucks off the road. Yeah, it's getting bad out there, man. Yeah, I feel for you on that. I mean, I heard that the other day, Prime taking 400 trucks off the road. It's getting crazy. Yeah, see, I pay attention to everything, Mimo. Even though I'm not a trucker, I pay attention to that. That is true. Like I said, it's on us, man. It's on us. And like I said, you don't have to look too far. Just look on YouTube, and you'll see us, our generation, on YouTube behaving badly, setting the wrong example. And it's sad. It's very sad. And that's why I said I just don't want to participate in that anymore. I really don't. I can't do that day in and day out anymore. I even try to. You know what? I try to look at some of these channels. I try to look at your boy, um, uh, the old fart over there in Philadelphia. I try to look everywhere, but it's like it's the same crap. I tune it on for like 5 or 6 minutes, then I tune it off. You say, oh, so you own two already, me mug? Oh, you got two trucks already? Oh, oh shit, you doing your thing then, man. Salute to you, man. Salute to you. Independent. That's the way to be. Independent. Actually, my youngest brother, he's trying to get into hauling, because in Athens, my hometown, UGA is building all over the place, and he worked for this trucking company. Um, They got all these contracts. Now he's trying to buy him a truck to haul dirt and stuff around. You know, it's a lot of money in that. You don't do it much anymore. Accountability. Oh, me mud broke you on that. Nah, me mud didn't break you on that, did he? I couldn't watch the act no more, man. You had to take accountability. That one guy, that guy right there would never change. He would never change. There's a lot of people I stopped watching on YouTube. I haven't even watched, you know, I haven't even watched Vic in a long time. Oh, Mimo got auctioned from the camp. He didn't answer me. Well, Mimo, you understand something. You can never call him out on anything. Once you call him out, you're done. You're done. Yeah. He's never wrong. Unless you got something else between your legs, then he'll give you a break. He'll cut you slack then. But as a man, you can't never call him out. That's crazy though. That's really crazy. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all sticking around, chatting it up with me. I will be back again soon. Like I said, my name is not in the algorithm, so I'm struggling for views. So I got to start doing more shows. I really do. This is my second one within a week, so I'm getting better. But nah, like I said, when I do these shows though, this is the type of shows I'm gonna do. No drama, no beef, and no crap. Just stuff like this right here. Right. That was how, yeah. Oh man, that's crazy. It's really crazy. But I suit you, man. Y'all thank y'all for stopping by. And like I said, I'll be back soon. Good chopping up with y'all. Y'all have a good night.
People are starving, and they don't care. They don't care. That pisses me off to the highest fullest, knowing that these people do not care about the common man and woman in this country.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Welcome to the Heineken Hour. Politics. Heineken. Good conversation. I don't think you really get that whole concept. Politics. Heineken. Good conversation. I don't think you really get that whole concept.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah.